Hey everybody, welcome back to Your Daily Podcast, the podcast that's almost never daily. And before we start the show, please check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and also check us out on Anchor. Anchor is what financially supports this show, and it's one of our biggest sponsors at the moment. And today, we have a very, very special guest, Zenrotto.
Hey,
So Zenrotto, everyone is a 10. He reached 10K recently, actually, on YouTube. He's a
really like a
10K.
couple days ago. Yeah,
He,
Congratulations.
you.
Yeah,
how long have
congrats.
you been on? How long have you been on the grind? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, there was a period where I started, and a period where I stopped, and then a period where I started again. I can probably actually find out exactly when that was, but I mean, it's probably been years.
Zen, I remember watching the video where you were explaining the dupe orb system, whatever, in Dokkan.
The
That's
video
the
is
earliest
still,
I
I think, my
remember.
second or third highest viewed video ever.
That feels so long ago. I don't even like. I remember when that update came out, I had no idea what was going on. I was like, oh, Zen uploaded. Let me watch, and that's how I figured it out.
Yep, so yeah, it looks like it's been about 3 years. A little bit of downtime after I stopped playing Dokkan, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so then I just kind of stopped making stuff. But then I was like, I'll just make whatever I want to make. Started doing stuff again.
Sense?
I like that.
Wait.
Oh, Josh went over there. I'll move it back in a minute. Oh, okay. Anyways, to keep on. Yeah. So now you're doing mostly JoJo's content and a little bit of also Final Fantasy, as I see you're playing the remake, correct?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've played the remake like way too many times already, but I thought it would be fun to record one of the many, many playthroughs that I'm still going to keep doing of that game.
What do you think of the
Yeah.
remake? I think you have high praise for it. Do you have any like mainly criticism for it?
I don't like the story direction at the end. I think that Final Fantasy VII came out during an era where Final Fantasy was very like it was telling very human stories about individual people and like the sufferings and life and stuff. And I don't really like that they're turning seven from that into one of their modern like I spit at destiny. I will stop whatever God has planned. Like I don't. But other than that, I think it's great. I think the battle system is maybe the best non-turn-based battle system Square's ever made. It's a great game.
Yeah, I have to agree. I saw that many people did not like the story directions as well on Twitter. They were pretty critical about it. I think people
Yeah,
were
it
a
was
little bit.
a big arc on Twitter for sure
Hmm.
of whether or not you like the changes.
I think many people were also upset. Like many people got very defensive on hating the game, mostly because like around this time, I think a few months before, people were. So you know how Resident Evil 2 remake came out, correct? And like most people have high expectations for remakes now, and if they see one flaw, they get very defensive on Twitter. I've seen this a lot. I'm not sure if you have.
Oh yeah, I mean that happens with everything. It's hard to make any piece of fiction that doesn't have people get defensive over it these days.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's kind of like a big issue with most communities. Speaking, actually, I actually let me see the questions real quick because we actually have one question that I kind of want to actually talk about. Thanks to little Darnumi over here. Here's the one question for you. What are your top 10 Black Clover moments?
Can I just say when Asta breaks his limits and then we apply that for the 17 times that it's already happened between the beginning of the series and right now?
Yeah, yeah, that applies. To be honest, yeah.
I think that counts. I actually don't hate. I make fun of Black Clover a lot, but I actually before the Elf first started, I actually liked it a lot. I think I read like 100 chapters of the first 100 chapters in like a day. So I was into it, and then the Elf War is like the worst thing ever, and I just can't even stomach it anymore at all.
Were you able to get through the Elf War, or are you not caught up yet?
Made it to the end of the Elf War, and that was it. That was done.
Have you seen
They
any?
started fighting Satan, and they just bro loved against Satan. They broke their limits again. I was like, okay, I think I've had enough. of whatever he's trying to do.
Black Clover.
Hey, what's your mouth, bro?
Come on, Ace.
Come
Why
on,
don't you
Ace.
tell us
Yeah,
how
Ace.
you feel
Actually,
about
yeah,
Black
I was about
Clover?
to introduce Ace. Ace, you're like Zen's biggest fan, man.
Real.
Ask the man some questions.
Oh yeah, I have a question for you, then. Do you actually like Twitter?
I actually like to. That's a complicated question. I
Because you
like
always
the
get
positive
into
aspects of Twitter.
get into arguments way too much in Twitter. Like,
That's kind of the way that any sort of like problem with Twitter, but that is also kind of a good thing, but it's just abused a lot, is that like you can just say what's on your mind, right? You can just drop whatever you want to drop, which is kind of good, but also kind of like have way too many people that will just say stuff, has no thought or backing or any sort of introspective understanding put into it. So then it just results in like you do with that. You leave it and then let people who see it later think that it's correct or worth engaging with? Or do you talk about it so that people who find it later don't look at that and go, oh, whatever stupid thing this guy said that's obviously untrue was debunked? Like it's a mess. It's hard. You start
yeah,
talking about
Twitter is
political stuff,
mess.
especially, it's hard.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oh yeah, do you remember me? Because I started talking to you when I had like the name Zenrotto's son.
You are
Remember
not the
that
only
email?
person who's ever had that name. You are not the only person that's ever called themselves Zenrotto's son. I've had Zenrotto's son. I've had a lot of Zenrotto's bodyguards. Been ones. I've had a lot that were just Zenrotto, just with like numbers instead of the letters in the name, and like exact copies of all the pictures and stuff that I had up. It's been an interesting run on social.
Zenrotto's bodyguard.
That was one for a while, and now I have what's the fan account now? The out of context screenshots from the Discord channel. It's going around now.
Those are
That's
funny.
Yeah, those are funny. So some of them are just wild. I've seen these actually go down in the server too. So I'm like, oh boy, that's getting on there.
Yeah,
Wait,
there's
what
there's
about?
some stuff that happens there apparently.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
not
a.
around. I see a lot of those after the fact. I'm not like there for all of those. But what?
Yeah, there was a picture about you talking about barely formed breasts. Can you please elaborate on that?
I have to. Can I curse on the show? Am I
Yeah,
allowed
you're
to curse on
good.
the
Yeah,
show?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All I have to say about that is fuck Zed.
Yeah.
Go, fuck seed.
Although
Look,
we still don't know how to pronounce it.
look,
I like how
I call him
I
Zed.
said Zide for a while, but I like Zed better. It
Dude,
rolls off the tongue
same.
better after the word fuck.
But
I
French
like
cunt
Zion.
rolls better though. French cunt.
It really
That
does.
works.
God. I like how Zenrot asks if he could cuss when I've been on the show like 3 times now.
I don't know. I assume even you can control yourself for at least an hour.
Yeah, let's go with that.
That's a big understatement. Oh man. Actually, let's check the Twitter questions since these are actually not that bad. I expected many trolls. So we'll get straight into the Pokemon Masters thing because I know some of us actually here play the game. What do you think is the current what is your opinion on the current state of Masters, and what should they improve on before the first anniversary, or what are you expecting for the first anniversary?
Well, so Masters I think is in like an okay place right now. It's had its ups and downs obviously because it started out like the very first week it was like pretty good for what a gacha game should be. And then they were like, that's probably fine. We'll just never change it ever. And so after months and months of it just being this stagnant mess, basically everybody quit. Like it was pretty much dead. They managed to bring it back. Red brought a lot of people back, and it's been pretty good since Red has come out. Definitely think they need to change the way that these sync grids and the sync orbs work because they're so heavily gated right now. It's difficult to do like more than 1 or 2 characters a month. They drop every new character they drop has one. and a lot of these characters need them to be good. Like that's why I was so excited about Dawn, because she doesn't need hers to be good. One of the only times since Red has come out where that's not the case. I'm hoping that they rework that for the anniversary. Probably going to rerun Red for the anniversary, I assume. Then they'll probably run the King of Suits, Blue, and Leaf for the anniversary as well, just to finish out the Kanto trio, and then move on to other things after the 1 year.
Are you expecting
Wait, how
any?
far is the anniversary?
Oh,
I think it's February. I think was the 6 month. I think it's. I want to say it's like August, but let me Google that because I honestly don't remember.
I feel like it's been on forever. I don't know.
I think it's like
It's 28th, so
September,
it'll be
October.
the end of
September, October.
August, right through the beginning of September. Will be the
Mhm.
1 year.
No.
Because I
It's
remember
almost-
my college blew up with Pokemon Masters. Like every single corner, everyone's playing Pokemon Masters. Like was the newest shit until everyone quit. Like the first week after.
Oh
you
man,
think they'll
that
release
first month
Arceus?
revenue report was Arceus. Probably not.
Well,
Maybe they
for
will at
1
some
year.
point.
I could see him being 1 year. I mean, or
I don't know,
well,
because
we
if
have
you release
Neo.
Arceus for the 1 year, where do you go from there? What do you release for the 2 year?
That is true. What
You know?
could they do for the 1 year?
This game
They could release
has a
a Master
really weird
Pikachu.
focus on trainers. Like it really pushes the trainers over the
Yeah.
Pokemon. So
you know,
I
Which
just
is
want to see
interesting.
Mr. Blue.
They could release Ash for 2 year for the second year.
see, I don't think they're ever going to do Ash or anything like that. There's probably some kind of licensing issue with the company that does the anime. They would probably have to cut them in somehow. Wanted to start using that's why Dawn doesn't have Piplup, I assume, because they don't want to allude to the anime.
okay, so I actually, what's the one thing I think that Pokemon Masters had like this reputation where it was like very whaley at first. Like you had to spend a lot of money, and now they basically flip flop where they've been more generous than usual. I think that's actually pretty good.
Pull rates are really good in that game, and they always have been. Like it's 2% for the new featured unit, unless it's like a dual banner, and then it's 1% each. But considering most popular gachas are 1% for the new guy, flat no matter what, it's pretty good. And then like their festival banners are 10% rates, which are pretty good. But in the very beginning, basically gave out no free currency, like at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a nightmare to get any of it. And people obviously were not happy with that. So then for a while, like they started reviving it or whatever, they just started chucking gems at you.
Dude,
If you'd
once
log in and for a month's login bonus, you'd get like multi and a half. Then that one would end, and then the next one is like, oh, here's another 4,000, and then that one would end, and then there'd be two going at the same time that were both for 3,000. Have cut back a little bit on that, but they're still pretty good about giving you.
I think after
I
think
think-
after Red, that's when like stuff just. That's when I saw it. I'm not sure because I didn't play before. I played a little bit. After the Red update, I'm playing more consistently. But I think in the Red update, I saw that they give a lot more. I'm not sure if that was a thing before. You would have to confirm that for me, to be honest.
It's funny, actually. It's funny that you say that because after Red is when they started dialing it back.
Ooh,
If you see how good it is now, you can imagine how good it was before.
I think
It
by
was
the time the
crazy for a
Christmas
while.
banners came around, I had like 20K just from logging in. By the time Christmas banners came around,
I think the subreddit does math on it, kind of like the Dokkan one does, and I think it comes out to something like 20K a month now.
Mhm.
Do you do everything?
That's good.
Let's see.
so Zen, I'm not gonna actually mention that meme, mostly because it's outdated. The March meme. That meme was pretty outdated.
That meme was outdated the same night it started getting used,
That's true.
Yeah, it's true.
and everyone that used it doesn't play that game anymore, so now it's extra outdated.
True. Guilty as charged.
Bro, did you see how many people? I'm not sure if you noticed that, but whenever the JP anniversary info was released, some of y'all too in this voice chat were very hyping it up and kind of sucking its dick to the point where y'all were saying it was gonna be perfect, and then it was just Lost Vein Point 2.
Yeah, I've heard that it's a bit of a
On the side of
letdown.
Elizabeth. There you go.
Bro, this
Dude.
banner's goated. What are you talking about?
Oh my
Dude,
god.
I just said it how it is. It's literally like any other celebration in this game, except anniversary slapped on it, and compared it to Tactics, because that's what the Tactics anniversary was just any other celebration with anniversary slapped on it. And people got so fucking mad at that just because I was comparing it to Tactics.
My man.
Oh, Zen. Ironic, too, because after the banner and the info stuff was released and what was going to be on it, everyone flip-flopped.
Mm-hmm.
And they literally just, like, they went from going after people who disagreed and calling them, like, just dumb idiots to saying, oh, Grant Cross is trash. Grant Cross's anniversary is not that good.
Elizabeth suck. Like, what's the problem? Because
She's not horrible. She's not horrible.
She's good.
She's
It's not the
good.
unit.
Bro, she's
It's
really
just that
character.
the banner. People kept like overhyping it, thinking the top 3 voted units are gonna have higher rates. The banner is gonna be one of the best banners in the game. Elizabeth was worth it, even though she's not a unit that could probably sell the most. I think the only reason why people have been summoning on that banner is mainly for Lozbane.
Yep.
Because he's still the best unit in the game, like head and shoulders.
See, the thing, Elizabeth, she's good, but not anniversary worthy.
I mean, like,
And
anniversary's
the-
coming next week.
So let me explain the whole banner thing then. So the banner is, I don't know if you've seen it yet. So it's supposed to be like voted units from the community, but we all know that what they did is they took like maybe the top 5 voted units, just slapped whatever filler in there to balance it out. Because Green Gloxinia and like Counter Meliodas are in there. There's no way people voted for that.
They did.
But what they did is they made every single unit on the banner 0.25% rate. So there's no rated
Oh
up
my
units or anything.
God.
It's literally just 0.25%. Basically LR rates for every single unit in the banner.
Nice. And is that another one where you have to do 30 multis to get the
Mhm.
pity?
Yep.
Well,
Yeah.
technically they have pities at like 30, 600, and 900 for the actual unit pity. It is 30 multis, yeah. Which once again, that's a Tactics does that. Just saying. Yes.
Tactics
Man,
is it?
people are gonna crucify you for comparing to tactics.
30 multis for the guaranteed unit. Actually, Tactics 28.
You know, another banner that I saw recently from a different gacha, and I now that Zen's here, I can bring it up without getting crucified. Let's talk about that abomination of a banner. 2 good units, but Okuyasu and Feet Boy.
that
Oh my
banner
god!
dude, some just made that banner, man.
I swear, I
Literally,
think
you have the unit's the best unit in the game. He's been out for like a year and a half or whatever, like a crazy amount of time. He's always been the best unit, basically, barring a little period of time where someone might have arguably been better than him. And they put him in there. People have been waiting a while for him to come back. And they put another character that's top 10 at worst and is one of his best partners in the banner. Then the step up guaranteed step has these 2 just mediocre trash units. Kuyasu's been out since the release of the game. Like, everyone has him. No one is excited to see him in a banner. They literally released everyone's been waiting for, and his best friend. So, like, if it was just those 2, you could roll through the whole step up a couple times just to try to get him. Then they just stuffed it with this awful filler. But, man, my heart sank when I saw Okuyasu, and I don't even remember the other guy.
Yuya?
Yuya.
Yeah.
Yuya.
Oh, Josh, if it makes you feel to show how much Pitter Pepper Pop has evolved, if you thought that banner was like murderous, remember the risotto banner, the first one.
God.
Okay, well, that's maybe the worst banner in any gacha game.
The fact that
Gacha game,
SR characters were guaranteed. Oh my god.
That's some old dope
Making
banner.
the final step of your step up banner a guaranteed member of the execution team and listing every single unit in the game that's on it in there is so bad. And it was made extra worse by the fact that Risotto was competing for #1 unit in the game at the time.
That reminds me of the old Dokkan banners that's like guaranteed 1 SR unit or something.
Oh yeah, 1 SR. I like any kind of banner where it's like guaranteed Super Saiyan. Like, what does that mean? That means does nothing for me. It's not helpful at all.
Oh yeah, what did you think of the Legends anniversary?
I think the units are cool. I have the banners like come out They've been
No.
They
released
did
yet?
tonight.
I think
They
tonight.
showed tonight, I think.
Tonight, yeah. Like I think the units look, but like the thing is, I always think the unit looks cool. Every time Legends drops something, I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty cool, and then it sucks again in like a week. So I don't know. I'm not gonna jump at like normally this is the time that based on my history I would download Legends again and play it again. Not gonna do that this time unless it's just randomly like all of a sudden really really good now. Which
Legends has a track record of
Thinking
not
about-
really doing that.
exactly.
Zen, I have a question for you. What is your relationship with Yu-Gi-Oh? Because I saw you like on a later date, like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links.
So I liked Yu-Gi-Oh a lot when I was a kid. I started like buying cards as soon as they started selling them, basically, because the TV show was on. It came on right after Pokemon or something like that. Probably that's probably how I got exposed to it. And I played with like a lot of friends and stuff. I never went to like tournaments or anything. I think I never got past like I don't know how to. I just say XYZ. I don't know how you pronounce that. It's something silly.
Xyz.
Z's.
Zexal.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I
Yeah.
think Zexal. Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal.
Well, I never watched the
Let's see.
show, but I know that summoning mechanic. But that's about when I dropped off. Watched the show up through 5Ds. Then that was
I
about
think-
it.
Personally, I think everyone from like old Yu-Gi-Oh! Watched the 5Ds and then just stopped when they introduced XYZ shit
Yeah.
because it looked complicated as hell.
Bro,
Oh, don't get me
That
started.
seems about right, yeah.
Don't get me started on Pendulum because I was still playing the TCG. I think I went pro. Okay, I didn't go pro, but I went like in like tournaments locally,
Locals?
and like I played till like I think once Pendulum was about to like once we found out that there was new Yu-Gi-Oh anime. I was like, I'm like, dude, I can't do this anymore. I can't. It's like a love-hate relationship. It's like every time a new box comes out, I'm just like, well, okay.
Dude, Pendulums is such a bad system. I legitimately never see anyone actually use it.
Don't even get me starting on Link Monsters. Holy shit.
Oh,
What the-
Link monsters actually aren't as supported anymore. They changed the rule sets again, to where you don't have to
What is
rely
it?
on Link monsters. I forgot exactly what it is, but you don't have to rely on Link monsters to get your fusion stuff out anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest, the first time I saw Link Monsters, I thought the guy was playing like 7D chess or some bullshit. I'm like, wait, what the hell is happening?
Dude, there's this one monster called Firewall Dragon that just like absolutely destroyed the meta. Like there's people like making YouTube videos begging and pleading for that card to get banned. It was so bad. Oh Link Monster's just bad, dude. I don't know what they're thinking with them, especially Firewall Dragon in particular.
Okay, but did they unban Stratos yet?
I think so, yeah.
Ha! We did it, boys. We made it.
I,
Finally free.
I think so. Let me double check.
You know what's it called? When I saw the Link, I think was it? I don't remember. I don't know the newest Yu-Gi-Oh anime name. I forgot because I only watched a few episodes of it when it came out on Crunchyroll.
Wait.
They kind of made it
Yu-Gi-Oh!
seem.
V?
No, is it called Z? I don't know. I don't
I'll
care.
look it up. I'll look
Like
it up.
like
What's
it-
the-
like what's it?
Brains or something?
Brains, yeah, Brains, yeah. So basically, the first few episodes of the anime, it made it seem like it was just a Duel Links copy because they were saying like, in this world, everything's different. There's only 3 cards instead of like the main, and how many normal Yu-Gi-Oh has. And I'm like, so did they just copy Duel Links and turn it into the anime?
Doesn't Duel Links steal its board and rule set from like an actual modified Yu-Gi-Oh like official rule set?
Yeah,
Actual
Speed dueling or whatever.
yeah,
Speed Duel.
speed dueling, yeah. And then
Isn't that like a 5Ds thing that's supposed to be with a motorcycle?
No,
Mhm.
that's a turbo duel, which is
Yeah.
very different. That's
They
what
they
a
didn't
motorcycle.
they tried that in Duel Links. I don't know how it would work because I never did it because I didn't like it. Maybe Zen has a different opinion because I don't know if you tried.
I mean, it didn't do anything. In Duel Links, they did it basically when you played cards, you just got counters, and then you could spend the counters on like an extra effect or something. Blow up an enemy monster for 8 or whatever.
Not
Okay.
gonna lie, when they introduced that to the anime, I thought it was kind of cool. Like, yo, I'm riding a motorcycle while dueling.
Yes,
What?
safety hazard.
Word?
Oh,
I was like, yo, word?
Yo, I get to
Not
read a
seeing
car
this-
while going 100 miles per hour.
Let's go.
What I don't
was-
understand about that is apparently the motorcycles are on autopilot while you duel.
so what's
Why have them?
Field spill? It's a field spill that makes them go autopilot? I don't get the
And then also, like, you can win the duel by winning the race, but not winning the duel. Then why are you dueling?
Bro, don't get me
No
started
fact.
on how many contradictions are in the what's it called Arc 5 anime, because they had to mix everything. They had to mix fusion, pendulum. They had to mix synchro. They had to mix Xyz. They had to mix every single type of summoning thing. And there was duels where they had different versions, like Xyz versus fusions, Xyz versus synchro versus Xyz. And I'm sitting here like, bro, my brain cannot handle all of this. Like, I can't even handle pendulum. Why are you trying to mix all of these together?
They
The
should have
one
stick
where they
with
just said
fusion.
fuck it, GX again.
Kind of.
They
Nah,
should've stick with
and
fusion, honestly.
no, Arc 5 was like basically imagine if
Okay, wait. Whose mic is that?
that's
I
Ace.
think it's
Ace.
Ace.
Hey, Jesus Christ.
Ace, you good? I'm gonna turn him down for a bit until he's able. If someone let me know if he's able to talk once again.
Alright.
Okay, so to basically get back to what I was saying, what Arc 5 was basically the main character. You know how Yugi was with Pharaoh. Imagine the main character having an emo mode, except there's different versions of him too.
What?
Okay.
And everyone else has different versions of each other. All the main
Alter ego?
characters.
Stupid
Yeah.
as hell.
Yeah, literally there's a fusion summoning version of him, there's a synchro, there's an Xyz, and then he's the pendulum summoning one. And it's just basically him and the others it's just dimension breaking. It's like if Zexal was on crack.
Ooh, word?
It's not good. Luca, please don't. It's not good. They have moments where the main character goes into like emo mode, except he's trying to be like Yugi from season 0 and kill people with cards.
Or oh,
Instead of the like the games, he's just killing people with cards.
ooh. Say no more. I'm not
Luca,
thinking
please
that.
don't. No, it's not what you think when I say that. It's watered down because all that happens was he gets his rage mode like he's Goku or something. Then there's where Zen talked about the power boost thing. He gets that because he has the rage mode, and then all of a sudden he just wins the duel because he's raged. And everyone's like, "Don't do it! Calm down." It's just like that train scene.
Am I the only one
That
who
sounds
thinks
terrible.
that they should have stick with fusions and that's it? Like, not even just add more cards. That's it. Not even add synchro.
No, I think synchro helped.
Oh.
I don't know.
I like X-Factor.
The only ones I don't like is I don't like link monsters and pendulums. Everything else I kind of like.
Yeah, X-Factor is cool.
I hate everything. Okay, I like everything till 5Ds. 5Ds after. I don't
Luke,
get
it's because you don't
anymore.
know how to
It's
do it though. That's the thing.
It's just like confusing.
Look, whenever we dueled in Nexus, I kicked her ass with Xyz and with Synchro. Actually, I didn't even use Synchro. I used Fusion. That should have been your lane, bud.
Wait. Oh, right. I was
You're using a Battle
using
City
Dragon.
deck. I'm using a deck that I made because I'm big brain.
Oh, I forgot that I used Dragon Maid and I lost.
Okay, let's actually ask Zen a different question because I think I have one right here. Oh, Scotty. Okay, this is a meme. I don't know if you're gonna take this one seriously. Scotty, Mega Blastoise at Mega Blastoise, he ask him when he's gonna follow me back. You said he's kidding, but I know Scotty watches this, so you tell him the answers.
I'll follow him back and wait for him to acknowledge it, and then I'll unfollow.
There we go. That's just evil. Okay, so let me ask the other question. From Matt at True Gun Takes. Okay, well, he just talked about Pitter for an hour and a half. Well, we're going to do that in a few minutes, but let's ask. Okay, we have a question from Sora. Characters you would like to see in Smash?
Dante is probably my big one that I want the most. There's a couple other characters, like if we got another Final Fantasy rep, that'd be cool. Like
You gotta hope
Tidus or Lightning or something.
You gotta hope that Square Enix would love to be generous to do that one.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't really care if we get Sora or not. I'm not really down to that. Spyro and Crash would be cool. Jack and Ratchet would be cool.
You said Shrek?
No, Dragon.
Oh.
And Daxter.
Dude, imagine
Like
just fucking Shrek just like beating up fucking King K. Rool or just like fucking Shitting on Mario, dude. He's just punching the shit out of him.
I'd buy it.
Not gonna lie, that actually, unironically, that actually might make a lot of fucking money.
I think it would. It really would.
You know, Zen, I have another question for you as well. I recently I recently made a video talking about like how people criticize Pitter Patter, and that mainly just people just go for the fact that it's IP, and the fact that it's cutesy and it's very complicated. And I think that JoJo's Pitter Pepper Pop can be one of the most complicated games. And I also gave two arguments that people can use against the game, but I never see them use it unless you're like in the community. And two of them were that there was not a lot of content, or they're pushing out too much content for people to dig in, and there's also not enough diamonds for said content. I don't know.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
I think that the issue isn't so much that there's too many banners, although I understand that. I think the main thing is that there's too many of the banners that there's limited units on them. Like if you release banners like the voiced Joseph and the voiced Abdul that aren't limited, so people don't feel like they're not going to see the unit again for another like however many months until it finally comes back, I don't think it would be as big a deal. But I understand people being stressed about diamonds when they drop a like limited units in a row or whatever they're up to now.
I think the main concern was exactly this chain of too much stuff or overwhelming the players for mainly the free to play ones. I think the whales were just completely fine with this and loved it. Was when I think around once Ghiaccio voice came out. I think once he came out, because that was like a first example of a time stopper, like a different, like an unknown time stopper that doesn't make much sense, to be honest. Oh boy, he freezes.
Yeah, well, and he poor voiced Gakko got destroyed by Anubis Polnareff coming out right after him and being so much better than him.
That too, because then people were like, "Oh, Bush Gatchu's another time stopper. Let's summon for him." Polnareff's just in the back, like, "You dumb bitch."
Yeah, Polnareff is like I think it was since Voice Gakko where I think they barely had any breaks on limited units since then. Because you had like Gakko came out and then Voiced Mista came right behind him, who also was limited. I think maybe he wasn't.
No, he's limited.
not
I
be.
think. Let me check Heaven's Door guide because they usually. I don't like their tier list, but they're accurate with what's limited and what's not.
Then after that we had like Fio Risotto, both limited. Then Kosaku Kira, limited. Now they're bringing Gyakko back with, for some reason, voiced Milone, who's nobody's favorite JoJo character. He's getting a voice limited unit for some reason. I don't know. Weird decisions.
What do you think their main area they're gonna dive into, like for characters in the future?
Well, based on other JoJo games, we're probably gonna start getting a lot more of Golden Wind stuff. The games seem to really like milking Golden Wind characters a lot. I think Stardust Shooters has a bunch of Giorno by himself, and then a bunch of like Giorno comboed with this guy kind of units, and like he's already got I think the most stars of anyone in Pitter Patter Pop right now. And you know we're definitely waiting on another one because Gold Experience Requiem has to get a voiced version at some point too. So that's what I assume is going to start happening for celebrations and stuff. Is going to be like voiced versions of the Golden Wind stuff that we don't have yet.
And
The voice King Crimson is probably going to come, and might do the other soul swaps. Like we don't have a Giorno Narantia swap or Giorno and Diavolo's body either.
Shoot, we don't even have what's it called? Silver Cherry Requiem yet.
Oh, he's in the file. I'm almost wondering if they're never going to release him because he doesn't have a character attached to him. I think they would have.
One question for Zenrotto. What characters would you like to see in Peter Patter?
I assume anime only because we know they're not going to go to the manga because otherwise I'll list every manga character. Definitely want a voiced Crimson because I think Diavolo's voice actor is really good. Mainly I want them to start doing like dual units because we have dual bosses. It's like two characters at one time. I really want stuff like Giorno Bruno like together, and then their animation is Key Fingers and Gold Experience fighting at the same time, like Jotaro and Kakyoin and stuff like that. I think that would
Like
be
that.
more interesting than just doing voiced rehashes of characters that we already have ever and ever.
Are there actually any?
Though.
Oh, sorry, Andrew. What?
So because for example, starter shooters, we have characters like that, dual units, like Bruno and Giorno, and Diabolo and Doppio.
Yeah, I think that something like that could definitely come in maybe around the second anniversary. Maybe hoping that they might do something with it soon. Maybe after second.
I just think they need to move to something that's not like it's this guy again, but now he has a voice line because like they're wearing that out. I mean, I like the voice units. I think they're cool and stuff, but at some point you have to start bringing in something else to generate hype because it's not to be hype forever.
I'm not even gonna
Look
lie.
at Voice Milone. Like nobody is hyped for that guy. Is zero people's favorite character at all.
Watch
Anyone.
him be busted. That'd be hilarious.
It's one of those characters where I'm almost worried he's gonna be busted because otherwise nobody's gonna pull for him. So like, it's gonna inexplicably be another time stopper.
I was surprised that Tommy Gun Joseph was good. I didn't expect him to actually, because he's like a non-limited unit or just a unit in general that has a voice line at all. He's just a normal unit, and like I was expecting him to be just a run of the down like okay character, and no, he impressed me. I wasn't expecting that at all. That's something that I usually don't see Pitter Patter do that much.
He's actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
He might be the best non-voice unit we've gotten in months. I like him. He's like a good, not really budget because you still got to pull him, but like it's a much more accessible version of voice Josuke basically, which is really good.
What's one more character I was thinking about that?
Fire as well.
Oh, voice. Yeah, I checked Heaven's Door guide. Yeah, Voice Vista is actually, yeah, you were right. He is not limited.
Yeah, I didn't think so. For some reason, I remember seeing Yako as limited and then seeing Mista wasn't for some reason on a banner like right after him.
What do you think of that type of tier list, by the way? I don't agree with it too much. I think they kind of like, whenever I see these characters, like I send the tier list to my friends and I'm like, just know that these characters are not as bad as you think they are because once you reach them and you get them back to like S super tech level, I think 3 or like 4, they get pretty good. They can be used. I don't like that tier list too much is because they try to make all the units look god horrible, and I think some of them are just underrated and just don't have partners yet.
Well, tiering units in Pitter Patter Pop is weird because like all it takes is one guy that's good with them, and all of a sudden they go from being useless to being incredibly good. Basically, like, look, you can basically make the argument that every single tile changer in the game is at least works with risotto, so therefore they're all at least pretty good. Like, it's weird. Basically, if you're not in the top 10, shouldn't even really be hard tiered because it's not that big of a deal. Worst tile changer and the best tile changer will come out to be like roughly even when you slap them with risotto. Like not exactly. Obviously the better one's going to be better, but not by enough of a margin to make the best one like A tier and the worst one D or whatever. Like who cares at that point?
I think they only
Tell people who the best characters are and then what they make good, and then they can determine the rest for themselves after that.
Mm-hmm. What's it called? I think the one unit that I think everyone can agree on, and for those who played the game, it's pretty bad. And I think I consider him probably the worst unit is Froggy.
Oh yeah, but I mean to be fair, he is locked to skill level 1, and his stats are bronze level stats. Nothing you can do about that.
Jeez, I actually did not play at that time. When did he come out, and why was he that bad?
He was actually a gift for when the Golden Wind anime came out, so that you could get a Giorno without having to pull him, I think.
Oh.
He came out like basically right around the start of the game, or at least very early into the game, because Golden Wind was airing on like Crunchyroll at the time.
Did you get
You
him?
could pick between the. I have him. It's just a box gift. They just slapped him in your box for free when you logged in, so it's not like you had to spend anything to get him. So it's okay for me that he's basically just a trophy unit.
That's unfortunate, man. I would love to see like Frog I don't know. I like the frog because I see him in the risotto. What's it called? In the risotto super the animation. I like that. I would have wished that Froggy Giorno was a little bit more like not very underwhelming, but like it would be cool if he wasn't just a trophy unit. Even if he had horrible stats, I would see if he could do something cool.
Yeah, they made him basically he's exactly the same as the original Gotcha Giorno, just he's locked at skill level 1. But skill level 1, the Gotcha Giorno and the Frog one do the exact same thing. Just the Frog one has terrible stats. Comparison.
You know, one character they could bring in is definitely what am I thinking of? You said about like what's it called about there might not be a chance that Silver Chariot Requiem could come in. I think someone could make an argument that's saying that means that Notorious Big can't come in. No, because he actually had a stand user, and that's someone actually told me that. They kept telling me that like if they're gonna not make stands by themselves, and they're gonna have to have stand users, then that means like Notorious Big and Requiem Chariot won't be able to come in. And then I told them that no, because Notorious Big though it's a remote stand. It had a stand user. They just killed him.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope they don't lock stands behind characters because it would be cool to get Notorious B.I.G. and to get Chariot Requiem and stuff. Why not? Why not? Using anything by just making little sprites for them and letting the player get them. Oh, I want Leaky Eye Luca. Free Luca. He's been an enemy only character for a year and a half. Free Luca.
Andrew, you were gonna say something, correct?
Yeah, so imagine if we got that. We got a Coco Jumbo Polnareff. For free, that would be dope. April Fool's or something like
What could be a good April Fool's unit?
Yeah, tons. Like, I actually thought they were gonna do one. It was gonna when they released that event that was like Shigechi with the lottery ticket. They were gonna do one right then, but they didn't. It was just some dumb thing.
Wasn't it Rat?
Oh, Rat was New Year's.
Oh,
It's the year of the Rat.
Oh yeah. Dude, Rat was so. I didn't get him as SO5, and I think it's because it was taking a break from Pitter. But goodness, dude, that was a funny unit to have.
Actually, good too. I like him.
I like Rat. Stan Rat. Let's see. What other questions do we have on here?
Sorry to interrupt. I almost got my bank account robbed from Saudi Arabia.
What did you
I
do?
just got that. I have no idea. I was like, randomly, I get a message from my bank, from a guy that's like my best friend that works at my bank. He telling me like, "Yo, are you at Saudi Arabia right now?" I'm like, "No, there's a pandemic happening." The man tells me someone tried to withdraw $600 from your account from Saudi Arabia. I'm like, wait, huh?
You're trying to get fun.
I'm like, damn it! Now they're gonna track me down. I think I bought.
What's happening right now?
Bro, dude, they're just gonna take your money to get Elizabeth.
Probably.
Look,
I
man.
got scared. That's why I left like midway through this shit. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is happening? Oh yeah.
It's okay, Luca. Just let them get that free Elizabeth. I would do the same. You know, actually, Zen. For what is like, I don't think you actually hate. There's a perception that people think you hate Grand Cross. I don't think you do. It's just what's like your main issue with it?
No, I don't hate Grand Cross. I think that I just think it's too demanding of your time. It's my thing. It's like you can sit down and play Grand Cross for an hour, or you can sit down and play 5 other gachas and make more progress in those than I did in the hour straight I played of Grand Cross.
No, that is true. It took me about 5 hours to get up 1K CC.
Sure do love spending 15 hours just to go up 100 CP.
Yeah, I've been auto all day.
Yeah, like you'll grind gold for 2 days and you'll finish half of one character's equipment set.
If even that.
Yeah, if you're doing R gear only, if you're going to SSR gear, it's going to take you. Oh man, just exhausting. Like need some, especially in something like a mobile game that's mostly like disposable entertainment, just to do something while you're otherwise sitting around doing nothing. I don't want to play it as hard as a AAA game and come away feeling like I got nothing out of it.
Facts. Quit-based system is so fucking trash.
You know,
I
got
knew I
the-
was going to
Y'all
have a
play
problem
Grand-
with Grand Cross when people unironically were like, yeah, just set it to auto farm when you go to sleep every night. And I was like, dude, you can't be serious. Like, come on. Not doing that.
Bro, when someone
Just
tells me to
destroy
sit,
your phone.
yeah. I'm thinking, why would you want me to give a risk? Because my mom kind of put a fear in this to me. Like, she said, don't like leave your phone running at night because it'll explode. Knowing the fact that that's kind of
Oh,
true, that
same.
she's not right, that she's kind of right about that. She's kind of a boomer, but I have to agree that that's the one thing I actually have a fear for. So when some random Grand Cross stan goes like, just put your phone on auto at night. Oh my yeah, dude! I totally want my house to be on fire by the time I wake up.
It's going to be in the news. What happened, son? Oh, yeah, I was farming books in Grand Cross. Started a block-wide house fire.
It might not blow up your battery, but it's going to definitely do some very bad damage to it. Because I messed up batteries to 2 phones. So I had my LG phone, my super old phone. I got like a 6,000 milliamp hour battery for it, and it would last for like days at a time with one charge, even playing gacha games. And I left Grand Cross on auto for like about 2 weeks or so, and that battery now lasts about like 3 hours at most. And my S8 got destroyed by Grand Cross as well. So the first thing I did, like when I got my new phone that I got recently, I absolutely refused to put Grand Cross in that phone. I refused because it just destroyed the battery of the other phone. It's like ate it.
You got me
See,
crazy.
Grand
if
Cross
you-
is a plague. Don't play Grand Cross.
No,
Sell
no,
your
no. You can
Grind
play the
cross.
game. It's just that I also want to talk about its like defenders. Like, why defend the game when it has a flaw? Like they're trying, and this is also what happened whenever Grand Cross came out. I can say at the time that Grand Cross had a like basic had like a moment where it could have been considered pretty good, a pretty good gacha. You could defend it. But now I just see the same people just look dumb because they don't see that Grand Cross has legitimate issues.
You know, it's funny. The issue started when the global released.
Oh, do you know what's funny? Just
Yeah.
like tactics.
Oh.
This man.
Tactics will come
Legitimately.
here after global.
It's
As
the
soon as global
Darnumi's here,
released.
bro. He didn't stop. Darnumi's here.
Alright, you guys know one game that didn't have that issue? Blazing.
Black Clover. Oh wait.
Oh.
Black Clover.
Man. Y'all are
Yo,
saying
how-
Black Clover mobile games suck.
y'all are saying some mid. Y'all are saying some mid, dog. Pitter Pepper
Yo.
Pop been out.
Then when are you gonna go back
Yeah.
to the Blazing?
How crazy is it that Blazing is legitimately making a comeback? Like
I-
they
I-
actually,
Want to hear my
I'm
Blazing story?
playing
Okay.
it every day.
So, I was like, man, Blazing has got this new stuff. That's pretty wild. I should see if I stored my old transfer code somewhere because I know I uninstalled the game a long time ago. So I looked around and I was like, I finally found it in emails from like 2016. Put it in and loaded it up, and it just had somebody else's name entirely on it. I'm pretty sure I gave it to someone or sold it a long time ago. And I reloaded that transfer code, and I was like, oh shit. I think I just stole this from somebody. So I uninstalled it again. Whoever that belongs to, you can take it back. I'm not gonna play it, but loaded that shit up, and I was like, oh no, this is not my name.
Oh man,
I did that before.
you didn't take away his pearls, did you?
I don't know. I hope not.
That's
Good
real.
luck, guy. If I did, sorry.
I remember I did that once. I transferred my account because I forgot I sold it because it's like a year or so later. And I transferred the account. It's like, wow, there's a lot of new units on this account I don't remember. Then I was like, wait, fuck.
I don't like
In my
Blazing.
defense, I even looked. I was like looking through my Twitter messages, like typing it, like searching it for Blazing Sell and stuff. I was like, did I sell this to anyone? Just take it back. I couldn't
That-
find anything, and then I loaded it up, and I was like, damn it, did
That
it?
transfer code system is so bad. Grand Cross does a similar thing, but they have it where you can't change the transfer code. So at least they do that right. But god
The
damn,
permanent transfer code is such a bad. I can't believe you can't just link it to a Twitter account or something at this point. It's 2020.
yeah, maybe that'll be one of the next updates when 4-year anniversary, dude. You get to link your account to Facebook. Let's go.
And just only Facebook.
Instead of a gacha unit, you just pull the ability to link your account to Facebook.
I would rail for
2%.
that.
Wait. LR rates too.
No.
You gotta make the people chase for it.
You know, actually,
I want that now. I really want that. A fucking banner that's just the pullest setting.
I cry.
Go to the settings menu and it's blacked out with a little like Ninja Pearl logo on top of it that you click on.
You either summon it or you have to pay $100 to buy it.
You know, actually, there was this one game that actually had like, it's like a very old game. I think it got taken off of Steam, but there was this one game where it costed $200 to play, correct? And then to advance to the game, I forget what it's called. It's some side scroller that was made through like Unity Play, so it was pretty shitty. It cost $200 to play, so you had to pay the $200. And then there was also random DLC that was random music that was copyrighted too, so you're going to lose it if you buy it. Number 2 was that if you wanted to progress through the content, you would have to buy these in-game purchases that would cost as well up to $50 each, and like each levels. You know, another example of that actually that came out was the recent Mario games that are somewhat gashas. Jesus, they have been very money demanding.
Oh, you're talking about like Mario Kart and stuff. Yeah, I played that for like a day and a half.
That was
That's
the biggest disappointment of 2019.
Dude, people
Everybody
kept hyping that up like in my workplace and everywhere. Like, hey, you want to play Mario? And I'm like, yeah, if only multiplayer didn't cost a life ton for me. You know, that'd be nice if we could play multiplayer.
It's doing pretty well, to be honest.
Well, because it has a popular IP.
That is true.
A little off topic, but a little bit on topic. Do y'all remember Dead or Alive 6 had like over $1,000 in DLC?
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
God.
hey, Dead or Alive was a tick, and I have to respect the bag.
I think overall it came into like $1,200 or some shit. It was actually so stupid.
Dude, but like games like Mario Kart and like I think the Mario Runner 2. Mario Runner was a big example because that game came out as a full game. Like Zen, it has as much as like Pokemon Masters or Grand Cross does in like gigabytes. And you know and if you got the game, you can only play one level, and on one level was like 4 things.
Oh my god.
It was really bad.
Isn't the Mario Kart game launch with one of those like Fire Emblem subscription passes too?
Yeah, that too. Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's how you
Launch
played
with that,
multiplayer.
bro.
That's how you played multiplayer. I'm not sure if it's free now. Someone had to check that for
Yeah,
me.
it is free now.
It is free now? Okay, but that was how it started. So imagine...
Well, to be fair, it was the beta.
Okay, true.
It wasn't exclusively. It was just to test it out.
You
Yeah,
know,
they said pay us to test our game for us.
Yeah.
Isn't there like an entire page dedicated to some like microtransaction in the Mario Kart game, where there's like some boomer that never heard of a gacha game before?
Oh yeah, the one that's like he just goes around listing products that cost as much as it costs to get Diddy Kong in that game.
Yes, that
It's actually a really good account. I love that account.
It's like such a boomer account that's never heard of gachas or anything before, but it's so funny at the same time because it is.
It's like every day. It's like Devil May Cry 4 is $20 less expensive than it costs to get Diddy Kong in Mario Kart World Tour.
It's so stupid, but also opens your eyes to like how fucking stupid it is to buy the stuff in these games, but we do it anyway. It's like it puts
conditioned, man.
It puts
You know what's a good example of that?
Getting.
Grand Cross is selling a $79 thing for 7 multi-summons on the new banner.
I mean,
Oh, don't remind me. I bought that
$79
twice. I bought that
I mean,
twice. Don't remind me.
Didn't the global version raise up a price for a pack that's around $20 on JP and the other one's like $40 on global?
Yeah, they made it. They like doubled the price, and it's not even a bunch of diamonds. It's like level up
50.
materials.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
that one. So they release it's a global is 6 SSR pin. It's 30 gems and like 50 each raid material, and it's like $40 or something. And JP it's like $25. You get 12 SSR pin. It's 30 gems and the 50 raid material.
So
like
it's double the price and not as good.
Less
Yeah.
value.
double
get
the
it?
price last of it.
You're getting half the SSR pendants for double the price. It's so funny.
Global devs.
But that pack is really good at JP. That's like a must-buy pack every month.
I've bought it so many times.
When
I
it's
think-
$20, that's one thing. It's
Oh, yeah.
40 bucks,
$40,
half the value. That's another thing.
It bothers me. Global also has those stupid costume packs where they slap the gems in there to make you pay more for the costume.
Oh yeah.
They don't sell any of the costumes without gem bundles, just so you have to drop like $40 to get a costume.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Wasn't-
JP is like $18 for just the costume. So like when Lost Fae Melee comes out and you want to get all his UR costumes, it will cost you like $120 compared to just like maybe $60. It's really stupid.
I think that these prices were planned ahead because if you buy from like okay, so whenever I want to buy stuff from Great Cross, I don't usually buy from Yen, mostly because I like from like code like Play Asia, I think. I don't buy stuff from Play Asia anymore, mostly because that stuff like I've been scammed before from that website. And so what I do is I do a safer way is going on my emulator, buying it through an Android device, but I noticed that Google Play has them a lot more pricier, and I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but some of these prices are pretty similar to what Global has, and I feel like these prices were already determined before Global was even announced.
I think it's just the conversion rate.
That's true,
That's
yeah.
Wait, where did you buy gems from? What, the gift cards?
So getting on an emulator, let's say like BlueStacks or Nox, then going to Grand Cross, going through the Google Play system as normal, I saw that these prices were very high, higher than usual. Sometimes $6 more, sometimes $5 more. But in the game, it would show you that it's 25. When you buy it, almost 40.
I think this is the website I use to get my shit from.
Well, that's not the
I-
issue. It's just that it seems
Yeah.
that the conversion rate's either messed up on the emulators, which is understandable, or it's just that these prices were already planned, and it could be either of the two, to be honest.
I think it's just conversion rate. I mean, I've bought many,
Most likely
many,
conversion
many,
rate.
many things on the JP side, and I've never been charged that much more.
Well, because you're on a normal. I'm mostly speaking on the emulator side because I know that
yeah,
if
it
you
could be
buy,
emulator.
yeah, it could be the emulator thing. Yeah, it's probably the main reason. But I feel like if the fact that I think Global's kind of doing that with like higher prices is kind of crazy.
Like guys, when I have time, you gotta watch that video. Twitter is actually great.
I think we're about to actually finish up in about like I think 3 minutes. Yeah, it's an hour. I think
I've seen that video.
we'll say
Hey,
see
don't
we're
do
gonna
that.
ask Zen a few more things. Do y'all have any more questions for Zen actually, guys?
When's our sex tapes in?
Did not hear you. What's that?
When's our sex tape?
Okay.
Well, we haven't figured out a reasonable pricing release schedule for that. I mean, I'm thinking we cut it into 12 parts and release each part individually.
True.
I have a question for Ben.
How much
No,
for a
part
part? How
sex
much
tape.
for each part?
Yeah, how much?
$60.
Ooh,
I'll take all of it.
$60
I'll
per,
take
and you
all
can only get it through the Netmarble Gem Shop.
Oh, yeah.
And you can't buy them separately. You have to buy them all together.
So
Oh, it's a
just buy-
step-up pack. Wait. It's a step-up
We
pack.
buy the
The more you
videos
buy, the
and
more you get,
gems.
right?
Yeah,
The
true.
more you buy, the more you get, but the last step actually costs double because you have to get a Gother costume with it. when you do it.
And it also has a chance of getting you nothing at all.
Sometimes you just get like first.
You just get a picture of Zen's foot or thumb.
Don't forget the gems. You have to buy gems with the pack, so it's even more money.
Oh, dude, Zen, just pull what the newest Pitter banner did. Just like instead of you get the high quality content, and then you just have different random porn videos that you just got from the internet.
But technically, it's still paying for porn, so it isn't really false advertising.
Yeah, but it's underwhelming, just like that banner.
Well, it wouldn't fit global then.
Actually,
Well,
one more
that's
question. Yeah,
right.
do you think Pitter will actually ever get a global release?
Nope. I don't think so. If it was gonna, it would have by now. For some reason, Bandai is very convinced that JoJo will not get any following in the West.
which is stupid because we all know
That's funny.
Isn't it
Well,
more?
Eyes
Isn't
of
it more
Heaven didn't-
common to be a JoJo fan? in
Eyes
the
of
West?
Eyes of Heaven flopped, didn't it, in English?
Eyes of Heaven flopped really bad in the West, but they didn't take into account that Eyes of Heaven is a fucking shitty game, and that might have been a part of why it flopped. It was just another arena fighter, but now with JoJo and really bad mechanics, and so like maybe if you make a good one and release it in the West, people will buy it. But I don't know.
Random question: isn't there a JoJo Battle Royale game?
But that's
I
like
think
an
there
arcade.
is.
It's an arcade thing.
It's arcade only Japan right now.
See,
Would
that's
love
why
to
Japan's
see it
better than the
come
West,
to the West.
people.
Get like a PS4 version because it actually looks really cool. If you should look stuff up for it later. All the characters have their stands and they have powers and stuff. Like Dio has a teleport because he stops time and then he moves to a different location and stuff. It's actually looks really fun.
You know, it's funny. It's not even that broken too, because someone like Mista is actually top tier in that game.
Yeah, like I think Dio's really good. I think Mista's really good. There's a couple characters that I remember seeing that people are like, wow, these guys are really good. It's not all the obvious ones where you think it's just going to be like Jotaro kills everyone. The game.
Yeah, I was that's when like people said JoJo's like a battle royale before there was stuff shown. I'm sitting here like, I don't know, like, because I'm kind of scared that that's kind of what it like. It's gonna be Jotaro just kills everybody, or Jotaro Dio top units. It's just Diamond Records again, except a battle royale edition. Giorno, Golden Experience, Requiem, and we have Diablo just killing everybody.
Giorno hovering across the stage, nuking everybody as they come near him.
So,
Okay, I have a question for Zen.
Mhm.
So, you started off being a Reddit mod, right?
Oh wow.
Very long time ago. Like, did you
long time
expect
ago.
everything to be the way it is now? Did you expect all of this from that?
God no. It was
What do
just
Like,
like
isn't it crazy?
not even a little bit because we were basically the Reddit was still fairly small, like at least with active people when I first became a staff member there. And we talked for a bit, and all of this actually came about more or less because Rhymestyle didn't think that Super Vegito was good. That was where all of this came from.
Bruh.
Is that he was talking about how the STR Gogeta was way better than the blue Super Vegito.
Oh, I
So I
remember.
was like, yeah. So I made a
that.
Twitter literally just to say, actually, he's really good. And then we fought about it, and then he DM'd me and he was like, hey, you should make a YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I did. And that's where this all came from.
Yeah, I remember Zahal. Vegeta was the good.
Okay, Zahal does that thing where he determines exactly how good he thinks the unit's going to be after seeing like half of its picture preload on his phone before he thinks about anything else.
Wow,
He
that
clicks the picture and he sees the character's eyes and he's like, I know exactly how good
I
you
feel
are.
like Zahal's a different level of sub. I think he's a subhuman when it comes to gacha games.
In his defense, he plays 77 of them. So at some point, it's all got to start bleeding together after a while. Super Vegito came out, and he came into what was the Reddit, like, it wasn't a Discord at the time, but it was like Chatango or whatever we used. Or maybe it was Discord at this point. I don't remember.
Some of the
He,
screen.
he was like, look out, everyone. Blue Super Vegito is fucking terrible. And it turned out he, like, completely broke the game for, like, ages.
I think the last question, and then I think we'll end it off here. Zen, what do you think is coming for the future? Like what and I think the bigger question as well. Why should people watch you?
In the future for me, for
Yeah.
like
Content,
humanity in general, or okay.
anything you want, to be honest.
So I'm shifting more toward mostly JoJo stuff now. Seems to be what people like seeing, and I like making it. Like, if there was any universe where I would be like a solo content creator of just that universe, it's probably JoJo, just because I like it that much. So, I just keep expanding into more things. Like, I want to do lore stuff for JoJo, talk about like the novels, like more of Over Heaven and Purple Haze Feedback and that kind of stuff. The games, like British for the Future, playing Eyes of Heaven right now, and why should you follow me? Because nobody else plays these obscure ass JoJo games, so I'm literally all you got. If you want to see any of them.
That's kind of like me with tactics, dude. I was like the only person people have to watch. It's kind of like a monopoly, dude.
Yeah, right? Like, it's an unintentional monopoly because nobody else plays these games for some reason. I think they're really good. I don't know why nobody likes them, but apparently only I do.
Well, that was the Your Daily Podcast episode. I think we're in season 3, episode 12. Yeah, episode 12 with special guests Zenrotto. Remember, guys, to check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as that supports us financially. Also, check us out. Thank you, Anchor, for sponsoring this episode. As usual, Anchor is our main sponsor, and that's what helps us distribute the show. Thank you, Zen, for coming on.
Yes,
Man,
thank
absolutely. Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.